I'm about to go to this person's party, blah blah blah, and he's looking at her. He's like, are you trying to get smashed? He's like, no, I don't drink. He's like, no, I'm not talking about that. Are you trying to get? And she's like, no, what are you talking? I'm like, well, that's what's gonna happen. She still went to the party anyways. Still went to the party anyways. Have so many stories about that, especially in high school. I remember one time it was like somebody I know told this one broad, "Don't go to this party." It was a older dude I knew. He told this freshman girl, "Don't go to this party." Still went. Next day I see her at school. I'm such a slut. Crying to her.
That I had that I had hood in me over and over and over and over.
This is the Loki. This is the funniest part of the story. Now, right here, once she started saying that hot sauce told her that she had hood in her, this is where I was like, okay, I think she's making this up. And if she's not, this is actually this now. The more you describe it, this seems like a very consensual situation. Because this sounds like a plot from a smut book. The way she's describing, this sounds like a plot from a smut book. And that's why I was like, okay, I think she's making this stuff up. And I think I saw some comments. G-Man says, first teen pregnancy I ever saw in real life was a girl in middle school. 14 doing a 23-year-old thug. Thank God I had my eyes open to see all that and remember it. And people don't understand, most teen pregnancies, I showed you the stats. I forgot which live stream it was, but I showed you. It was like 70%. 70%, the guy is like over the age of like 20 something. And I'm talking about, when they talk about teen pregnancies, they're talking about like ages 13 through like 19, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they used to use the numbers for. Well, and mind you, it was a feminist that put that stat out there. So she put that stat out there to show that, oh, men are predators and they're looking after young girls. But I interpreted it a whole different way. Because I always, from my anecdotal experience, teenagers, female teenagers, they be getting smashed by older dudes, right? So this is usually the situation. Even I know even of a specific. Let me give you a mini story. I know of a girl. She had a teen pregnancy. I know her personally. She got pregnant at 16. They thought the baby father was a guy at her high school, a guy her age. Nope. Turns out it was like this 23-year-old dude who was a church musician. And I'm going to just leave that story alone. Because anybody that knows me personally knows exactly what I'm talking about. So there's a lot of stories like that. You know, there's a lot of stories like that. And then I remember, elementary school. That's how I found. Because I asked way too many questions, and then because I remember like my first pastor, the first pastor that I ever had at my first church. The first lady, which is obviously the pastor's wife, she would run her Sunday school. She would have her class with the teenagers. And I remember she was going in. She was like, I cannot believe what I see in my school. A 13-year-old with a baby stroller. And I was just like, what? That's the first time I ever heard something like that. I was like 8 or 9 years old. I was like, what? And then I was like, oh my, that's when I started connecting the dots. I was like, oh my God. And then now,
oh my fucking God, bro.
A lot of those
fucking
teenage pregnancies, they be with grown, the fathers be grown dudes, dog. Grown dudes. It never be people their age. It never is. Or the person their age is the cover guy. Because the girl that I explained earlier, where it turned out being a 23-year-old dude that was a father, when people confronted her, like, yo, why did you let him know, how did this happen? And she knew the whole time. The guy was just the cover. The athlete that was at her high school was just the cover guy. He wasn't the father. He probably didn't know, but she knew. You see, actually, it was when I was in 7th grade, so more like 13, crazy. Where, yeah. He said their parents are never present in these retellings. They never ask her why she didn't tell her parents or why she lied to them to go meet these grown men. Insanity. Pyro says, I always tell them you're going to be passed around like a blunt. Oh, yeah, I remember I tried to give a girl advice with that in high school. You're wasting your time. You wasted. I'd be telling dudes, you don't be telling the girls, oh, they're just out there to let them find out. Just let them find out. Because really, they do want to get smashed. They just get in over their heads. That's just my opinion. They want to get smashed. Right? Long Live the King said back in the days of late 90s and 2000s, 75% of the chicks I knew had fake IDs. And anybody that hasn't paid attention to my show, I already told y'all, one of the top 10 red flags of a woman, number 7. I got that list saved. Number 7 is she has ever had a fake ID in her life. You're dealing with a dangerous. I don't care how innocent she is, how she looks, etc., etc. Remember Just Pearlie's story? Her Me Too story, talking about she had a fake ID. I'm like, oh, that's all I need to know right there. All I need to know. All I need to know. Long Live the King said 75% might be high, 50%. I apologize. He said 75 is probably off. Let me tell you this, Long Live the King. I grew up like, my high school years were in the suburbs. Most of the girls that I knew, most of the girls that I knew